Alright guys, I want to share with you today how to productize yourself and your skill in order for you to build a scalable system. Now with this in mind, I want to help you guys set up not only your offer, but also give you an overview of what the system looks like and how you can also implement this in order for you to build your one-person business and make the money you want online. Now for me to break this down, we want to first start with the main thing that attracts people, which is your lead magnet. And based on this, as you can see in my example here, it's basically on for you to be able to attract the people based on the offer you can solve. Okay, so that means that you have a skill, you have an expertise, you have a knowledge that you can share in order for others to solve the problem. Either it's in fitness, either it's in make money, or either it's in a craft that you love or in a hobby that you're doing, or you simply want to sell maybe digital product, or you want to be like a UGC creator, etc. It doesn't matter what it is. What it matters is that you have something that you can help solve. Okay, so the problem most of the time people have is that when they look at their system, when they look at the self, they don't have something they can do in order to provide an outcome. So what ends up happening is that they're selling themselves on an hourly basis, which the selling itself or yourself on an hourly basis is not a problem by itself. But if you're going to charge like $7, $10, $15, $20 per hour, it's really going to be hard for you to even monetize something substantially in order for you to have a lifestyle that you want, like traveling or hiring someone in order to deliver, etc. So there's three things that you have to take into consideration. The trap of freelancing, so you don't fall into the trap of doing that. The shift that needs to happen in order for you to understand, like, hey, I need to charge based on the outcome. And the solution. What is it that you're going to provide in order for you to help them achieve the outcome? So for you to be charging per hour, you need to make sure that you're having different factors into consideration, like how much you're paying someone, how much you're paying for the tools, how much you're paying on taxes, and how much you are getting as a profit. Okay, if you take all those things as a minimum into consideration, then you can count on, okay, what the total hourly rate is going to be. An example will be, if you're going to pay someone $10 an hour to do the work because you're outsourcing the work, meanwhile you focus on getting clients, then you have to think, okay, out of that $10, how much you're going to pay on taxes? Anywhere between 10 up to like 40%. So now you need to charge 14. Now if you think you're using subscription tools, etc., like Canva or something else, like Premiere Pro, video editing, or using Monday or Beehive or something, you're using at least like $300-400 per month. So if you think on that, okay, I'm going to charge this client $300-400 to cover that month, for example. Now it's not only about the 30%, for example, tax and the $10 per hour. Now you have to add on those $300, right? And depending on how many hours they want. Separate to that, you have to think, okay, what is out of the work that you're going to do, what is the thing that you want to get paid? A minimum of $1,000. So then you think about, if you want a minimum of $1,000 per client, then you're going to charge $1,000 as a base. Then you're going to charge $300 to sustain your monthly expense. Then you have to think and consider, okay, you have to charge the 30% taxes, and then what you're going to pay someone else to outsource, right? So you're looking at somewhere in the range already of what, maybe $1,800, $2,200, or $2,500. For you to be in profit, okay? So when you look at it like that, that is how you think, okay, if I'm going to charge someone for an outcome, I need to charge them at least anywhere $1,000 or above in order for you to have something sustainable for the next 2-3 months, right? So therefore, don't fall into the trap of freelancing, but think on the outcome and think on those factors before you start providing a quote or a price to do something. Other than that, you need to prioritize your skill in the sense of providing some type of consulting, design, or writing. Okay, so if you go in consulting, you're going more into the realm of providing a step-by-step walkthrough with them in order for them to get the outcome. If you're going into design, it has to be more focused on the branding because a lot of people suck at doing that. And if they try to do it with Canva, etc., it still doesn't work because they're just using something copy and paste rather than something that identifies and make them stand out. And you want to also think on writing. So how can you utilize copywriting to help them not only get clients, but also build some type of audience on social media? Because what they say and what they do and what they showcase is basically what attracts people. to them. So that's one side of the coin. Most of them don't understand and they don't take in consideration. And they think with some copy and paste AI generic stuff, they're going to be able to build a business. And that's not doable. And even if you do it, it's not a sustainable business, meaning it won't last for long because it's just riding the trend. And when the trend dies, everything dies. All right. So ideally, what you want to do is try to build a system where it's one-to-many. So for me, it's like building a newsletter. From that newsletter, I record a YouTube video I share with my newsletter. And based on that, it pushes them back to the main offer. So the newsletter pushes to the offer, the video pushes to the offer, and the offer itself keeps promoting itself, meaning I have a subscription and I have an ascension, so people can upgrade. So if you think about it, it's a one-to-many process, which involves me standardizing my processes and having a ascension ladder when it comes to pricing, and have fixed or have recurring. And then from there, focusing on the benefits on the outcome. So benefits will be probably have income freedom, have location freedom, have time freedom. And from there, you'll be able to focus on the benefits of doing that. So because you have those things, you can spend time with your wife, you can spend time with your kids, you can go for the family, you can hang out with friends, all those things, right? So you want to try to build around that the lifestyle that you want by implementing this one-to-many setup or formula. And based on that, you have a business that self-sustains itself, right? Now, how do you automate these things? When it comes for you to do something for the long term, in order for you to focus on getting clients rather than being in the process of delivering. Well, as you can see here, by automating the process, you need these 4 fundamentals, which is the PDF and the lead magnet. Again, you need to have something to attract people. Either it's a video, either it's a PDF that is something that talks about a specific problem that you solve, or you may have different type of things you want to give away. Okay, but it has to be something close to the offer or close to the problem that you solve. Okay, it cannot be something unrelated, because otherwise people get confused as to what it is that you are really an expert in. Okay, second thing, it needs to have 12 touchpoints ecosystem, meaning 12 different ways of communicating to the person and with the person when it comes to social media, when it comes to your platform, when it comes to your offer, etc. It needs to have different angles. If it doesn't have different angles, the person will see that you're not the type of individual they can trust. If they're seeing you're consistent throughout all platforms, if they're seeing you have value throughout all platforms, if they see that you are able to approach the topic from different angles, different perspective, with a different understanding, they're more likely to trust in you versus your competitor that only talks a certain thing, a certain way, and on one platform. Now, this doesn't mean we have to be everywhere. What it means is you have to be able to show them that you are competent at solving the problem from different angles, because people are going to have different situations and they're going to feel that their situation is unique. So logically, you're going to have to understand what situation they're in and then tackle those things. And if you are using YouTube, if you're using newsletter, if you're using LinkedIn, Instagram, etc., based on those mediums, you are able to use those mediums within this entire thing of when it comes to explaining them. One example I can give you is this. If you're good at copywriting and you're trying to sell your copywriting, use the platform that you used before at copywriting. For example, if you're using LinkedIn, use many LinkedIn posts to show them that you're good at copywriting. Second would be YouTube. If you're good on camera, if you're comfortable on camera, then use your YouTube videos to illustrate to them why you can teach them about YouTube, because you're comfortable on the camera, right? So if you use, if you're comfortable in Instagram doing talking head videos or images like photo shoots, etc., show them your Instagram or your threads, like meta threads, archive or so. This is a way then you can authentically and genuinely show that, hey, I'm competent in this area. I have proven results, meaning I did the work. Here's an example. And based on that, they can see you're credible. The third thing you want to have into place is after you've done those two things or various of those two things, then you want to have survey polls or reply data. Survey, if again, a list of questions, they give you answer. Polls is the same thing, but then you have reply. Reply is people that raise their hand. So within survey polls, etc., you can also have emails that say to them, if you want this, reply me the keyword, etc. They will reply you because they want you. They want to hang out with you. They want proximity. They want your code. They want your coupon. They want your PDF or something. Okay, so when you do that, you're going to see that immediately people are raising their hands. People want to engage with you. And then once you understand those things, because you see the pattern, that's when you have rotating offers. Okay, now rotating offer in this case is focused more on the ability to have different automations set up within your Beehive platform, which is the one I use. And I recommend you guys to check it out below this video, is because you are able to use Beehive platform to create automation that basically works on triggers from polls or triggers from surveys. But anyways, you'll be able to, and that will be for a different video, but you'll be able to set up those things, of which if someone within a poll, for example, say to you that I learned based on courses, you are able to trigger with Beehive an automation that sells them that offer. So if they click on within the poll you have courses, consulting, and I don't know, one-on-one training. Someone says, hey, I want a course. And then you're able to trigger an automation that sends them the course to them as a reply. Hey, thanks very much. Here's your course information. This is how I do it. Here's a walkthrough. If you're interested, reply me, whatever, or let me know, or I don't know, click the link below or something, depending on what action it is you want them to do. Based on that, if they take that action, you can reply them the code, you can reply them the purchase link to the course, etc., etc. So it helps them understand, one, every action they take, there's a reward for it. Second, it automates everything so that you can track where people are. And third, you're promoting your offers, whatever offer that is. If you have multiple offers or just one, you're promoting your offer without you having to do the sales, without you having to spam people, without you having to talk on the phone, without you having to DM people, etc., 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 right? So it makes your life way more easier. And the method I personally use is this one I'm showing you guys. It's basically an overview of where you focus on one avatar. You have one problem that you solve with different angles. You have one offer that you sell with different solutions. And then you have one platform you focus for a year. That's it. Once you do that, it will automate everything in a way that it's more easier to manage. Now, I try to bring across this to clients and this to many customers. They don't seem to understand it because when they look at their peers, when they look at their competitors, or they look at the gurus out there, they're everywhere, right? They're on social media, they're on LinkedIn, YouTube, they're email, they're doing everything, right? The reason they're doing everything because they got to that point that they can do everything. But if you're just starting out, or if you already have a newsletter, etc., but you're trying to build a system that you can scale, this is the method I recommend you to focus on in order for you to scale within the next 6 to 12 months. And I always say 6 to 12 months because that's a reasonable time you can scale something. If you think within a 30-day span, within a two-month span, or like 90 days, it's not going to work that fast. It can for some people because they already have something set up, but if you're starting from scratch, it's not going to be that fast. And if you have something set up, likely that 6 to 12 months will be reduced to like 90 days, okay? It can be even faster, but it depends on how much you spend time building everything out and how much you spend on ads or acquiring leads, etc. Because you need lead flow to going through it in order for you to see some results. And with that, the pricing I'll always give clients is this. If you focus on a low ticket, focus on anywhere between $1 up to 97. You can start at 9 will be ideal. If you focus for a mid price, it will be 2 to 3K, maybe 1 to 3K, something like that as well. If you focus on the high ticket pricing, anywhere 3 to 6K would be okay, or 3K above. All right, so it's super simple. It's not difficult. I try to keep my pricing at this range because it's more accessible, more doable. If you go 6K and above, it's going to be hard for people to buy it. Most people don't have that money lying around. Most people have between $1,000 to $6,000 hanging around in their credit card or savings, whatever, that they can acquire very easily. Okay, so you want to go for that in order to get the client first. And if you want to ascend the client later on in a partnership, you can do it for 14K or above. Okay, so that's basically how I do it. Now, what does this mean for you when it comes to the market? Basically, it means that you're able, as you can see here, selling your offer will become more easier. And the offer can vary. Sometimes you see a list of people selling only one offer at one price, etc., but you're limiting yourself to one, very small segment of the market. But if you can take the same offer and sell it in bite-sized pieces, you're able to sell it at high ticket, at low ticket, at mid-range ticket, and it makes it easier for you. So you optimize landing pages to fit that demographic. You use evergreen social media content like this video, and also you use email sequences in order to fit the audience needs and wants. This way, it's easier for you to categorize how you do it. I personally keep it very simple. So when it comes to automation, I don't go too deep. I try to leave it at a tree level. Tree level meaning I have a email sequence that is free. I get a reply from them that makes them more involved in it. So for example, the email sequence might have a poll. People reply to it, they get a reply which pitches them the offer. And from that second phase reply, I send them a link with a coupon. So if you think it's a three-step process, and from there is no other thing that I do. Why those three? Because I try to keep it simple. That's one. Second, once I give them the coupon expires. So if they don't act within a certain time frame, it expires. They lose the ability to be able to purchase at that pricing that I give them. Okay, so I'm trying to make it easy for me. I'm trying to make it easier for them. If you're serious, this is the action you need to take. If you're not serious, this is the consequence that you will lose the pricing, okay? And or the ability to even sign up, because I put the pricing on a certain time frame to expire. I put the offer on a certain time frame to expire. So if they don't act fast, by the time they act, they see that the offer is not valid anymore, right? So that's what I do. And the results, as you can see, is basically giving you freedom and profits. These are the two things I focus on. I do not try to burden myself with acquiring possessions, meaning I need to have 2, 3, 4, 5 houses. I do not try to collect cars, because that's not my purpose in life. I do not try to collect watches, etc. There's only two things: profit and freedom. If I can have the freedom, I can do whatever I want with whomever I want, when I want. And if I have a profit, I'm able to help others in the process, okay? If I don't have process, meaning profits, I cannot build a process of which I can help others, because you need to sustain it. You need to be able, and for me to be able to sustain everything, I want a self-sustaining thing. Meaning, if I want to take a day off, a week off, a month off, 6 months off, I want it to self-sustain. The way self-sustain is when I personally build a system that people that uses Beehive, I help them. If you have a different platform, you have to kind of figure it out by your own. But if you're using Beehive platform, and especially using my link, for example, I personally help you. I'm there to support you, and if you get in problems, I'm there to come into the process in the system and look at it with you, so that I can teach you how to solve the issues, tech issues, setup issues, automation issues. Okay, because a lot of people find it a bit confusing when it comes to the tech side. But there's many things in the ecosystem that you can use, therefore I'm able to help you. Other than that, I also use WAP. So WAP gives me the ability to, when I'm building offers and I provide people to use those offers as a resale right, people are able to use the same WAP platform, and with that I get a commission as well for referring that person. So if you think about it, the more people use the platform I use, the more my system sustains itself, but the more they benefit as well, because they get my assets to be able to use in their business. And it's easier because they don't have to reinvent the wheel. They see what's working for me, they implement it in their own way, in their own business, and it makes sense for them, right? It's a win-win for both. So this is how they sustain their business, this is how I sustain the business, and it becomes an ecosystem that sustains itself. The more it grows, the more the group benefits, not only myself or not only them, right? So this is how I do it, guys. And this is my way of not only helping you build your one-person business, but if you are interested in working with me, you can click the link below in the description as well. You'll be able to find out. There's two ways of working with me, either one-on-one, or you can basically run throughout my entire process in the workshop I am doing. All right, so appreciate it. Thank you, and we'll see each other on the next video. Take care.